Hey, I was waiting to make a recording on this because I wanted some comments to be down there to show Joe's common reaction to everything. Look, I just want to show the clip here, so you can see what it is that's happening. He talks a lot, then he shows it, and then you're gonna see.
And we're going to go and look at this player in particular right now, Paper Jack, who has just killed me on screen. And we'll be watching it from around about here, and we'll just listen to their footsteps right now.
Quote unquote footsteps right about now.
So check this out, and we'll watch this clip play through. I might edit it just to speed up the process, but we're going to play this first clip right now, and let's check it out. We'll just point out here that after they ran to the right and they were making footsteps, now that they're on the other side, on the side where the bounty is, we've not heard a single step from this player.
Well, you're not entitled to hear footsteps at every single distance. Right now, there have gone, what, roughly 1 minute since the dynamite was being thrown. Your teammate ran up to revive you, and you got up. So, roughly 1 minute after that dynamite, they could have crouched. Crouch is 20 meters away. You're also elevated. You're on a different floor compared to them, so there's even more to obscure the footsteps. Yeah, but I should still be able to hear that. I'll come back to that one.
So we look here, we can see on the right here, we'll just pause it right there. Right here, so we can see that the bounty hasn't been picked up yet. Both
He wants
bounties are
that
there.
one.
Right, Paper Jack has just picked up the bounty. You can see one of the bounties are missing. We've not heard any footsteps.
Crouching towards. It is possible to crouch and serpent.
Moving toward the bounty, on or near the bounty, and the bounty's been picked up. Now my partner's about to run in after him, and he tells me he can see him, and he's running upstairs. He's going for the upstairs. Remember, there's the windy gate on the bottom floor, so he's not going out the windy gate. So it's pretty obvious that if you're running down that way, you're going to be going upstairs. So I'm going to make a dash.
Well, it's not pretty obvious that he's not going through the windy gate. I know that I skipped, but back here, at no point as far as I recall it, did you actually show that gate being closed? You might have done it here, actually.
I'm going to be hearing something soon, but if I don't hear
Oh, you
anything,
showed it there. Okay, you showed it there. Sorry, my bad. So you actually did show that it was closed. My bad. So no, fair. You're right. He's not going to be able to go through that because he needs to open it. There is still the door over here, so he could run over and then back. It doesn't need to be that he runs up. You only know that post match.
bounty, you can see one of the bounties are missing. We've not heard any footsteps moving toward the bounty, on or near the bounty,
Crouching.
and the bounty's been picked up. Now my partner's about to run in after him, and he tells me He can see him and he's running upstairs. He's going for the upstairs. Remember, there's the windy gate.
If your partner can see him, then he should know where he goes.
Straight ahead, try and cut him off at the top of the staircase, right? So we're gonna like pincer him, we're closing him in, and there's not much you can do about it, right? It's 2 versus 1.
Well, there's not much you can do about a shotgun, for example. You have a Vedley Cyclone, you would be at a huge disadvantage. So, yeah.
So there's my partner there at the bottom, chasing after the dude. We can hear my partner's footsteps.
We can hear the enemy's footsteps. Your partner jumps. I'll go back here.
Not much you can do about it, right? It's 2 versus 1.
Your partner will be jumping. That's actually a perfect image I have captured right here. 2 partners. There. Your partner will be jumping, and I will mute, slow down so people can see it, then go back and they can try and hear it. Your partner is jumping there. This motion here is the jump. You can see the smaller character not stretched, followed up by the landing, and then stretching out to be run again. So you can see that moment there. I will see if I can make it precise. Yeah, here. So when Joe starts running, his partner jumps, meaning that Joe's footsteps and the enemy's footsteps. And you can actually hear the enemy slightly over here around the stairs. You can't hear him because now he's not crouching anymore. I will go back so you can hear the clip.
Him in, and there's not much you can do about it, right? It's 2 versus 1. So there's my partner there at the bottom, chasing after the dude. We can hear my partner's footsteps perfectly clearly. Right, and now I'm running to where...
I don't know how you can hear your partner's footsteps perfectly clearly while in the air during a jump. That is impossible. There are no footsteps during a jump. And if there are, your partner is having a cheat to create phantom footsteps. So, like, which is it, Joe? Is your partner also a cheater? Because you can apparently perfectly clearly hear his footsteps. I know you can hear them on the other sides, but you just paused after he landed. Meaning you're talking about that specific moment. Yeah, but he was running before. Then pause there. There's no reason to wait after the jump and then say we can hear his footsteps perfectly clearly. But yes, your partner is running, which is up to like 90 meters away. Walking is like 50 meters. Crouching is like, running might be 70 meters. Walking is like 50 meters. Crouching is 20 meters. So like there is a huge difference. And during the jump, you could actually hear someone walk at the around the stair area.
The top of the stairs are literally over here. This is the boundary.
No, the top of the stairs are not over here. They're over here. This here is the balcony, and you have a wood plank going up to the roof window here, so you can go out there too. The stairs are over here, not here. This is compound knowledge also.
Balcony here, and then the stairs are like here somewhere, right? The top of the stairs.
You literally just said they were over here.
This is right here. So
but fair enough, you changed
he's
it.
running around here, chasing after the dude, and he's going up the staircase.
Going up the staircase, not running.
And he can see them, but no one can hear this person.
He cannot see around corners, so no, he cannot see them. He saw them.
Just pull it back a little bit so we can watch the whole thing in motion.
Thank you.
And you see this? Now he's at the top of the staircase, and you only heard the steps as I was just coming around.
No, you also heard the steps as your partner was jumping. Because at that moment, you were actually only having 2 footsteps in the compound, not 3. So, yeah.
Around the corner, this guy's literally moved around here with no footsteps, picked up the bounty, ran up the stairs, and only when, as I was coming around the corner, only then do you hear 2 footsteps as I'm coming around the corner.
Why only 2 footsteps? Your partner is not jumping anymore, so he should also be making footsteps. Are you saying your partner now have no footsteps?
which isn't enough time to react to because I'm listening for the footsteps, right?
Don't listen for the footsteps. Use the gameplay, use the screen and the audio, not just the audio. You running headlessly in just because you think you need to behave like a bat using echolocalization is stupid gameplay.
My mate says he's going upstairs. I'm presuming he's moving pretty fast, like walking or running, and I'll be able to run in, hear
Walking is exactly what he did, and you could actually hear him, as I said, during the jumping of your teammate. So during that moment, you also knew approximately where he was, aka directly at the staircase going upwards.
wherever he is, be ready mentally for where he's going to be, and then take him out. And this is why no footsteps is a huge advantage, and toggling it on and off at will.
Okay. Toggling it on and off at will. You can see that he goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, picking another clip, so on and so forth. Then we go down in here. We go newest first to give everyone an opportunity. Could have serpent and was already sat crouching at the stairs. My partner did see him. Then how did my partner see him go upstairs? You actually said your partner saw him around here. Sorry, around here. You said your partner saw him going over there, meaning your partner never saw him going up the stairs. Your partner saw him going towards the stairs. So now you're just fabricating new parts just because you don't want the truth to be out. Let's see. There were more. Something like this here. Do you have POV of your teammate? Your teammate's POV. He was prepared for you because he heard you sprinting to the corner. You were lucky not to die to the first shot. So yeah, like, do you have the point of view of your teammates so we can see and hear from their perspective? And Joe's response there, why you was told all the information, all the important information when I moved towards the stairs was when my partner said he went upstairs. Yeah, if you have the point of view of your teammate, then we can also see if your teammate also experiences the same quote unquote no footsteps. So there's that too. If two people experience the same phenomenon, there is a more likely case to be made about that said phenomenon. But he really didn't give much about your long rant. Like this here is a novel explanation of nothingness, and I show evidence of people with no footsteps. You have also previously shown that you are manipulating the audio clues that are coming into you from GeForce 9 SteelSeries. Wow, SteelSeries sonar. So there's that too. I don't trust you having the exact same thing. This here is just for you to see. Like, I could do this for you to see, and like, this is just a standard Joe response. There's this 1.4 KD sus. Reading it again, you need to pause to read. I'm not going to go through all of this here. This was not the important part. And there was not much more. Yeah, I think this was just like kindergarten level argument from both sides, basically. He did try to begin with argue like somewhat, but it turned out being a lot of nothingness. This here is another person that attempts to have valid points to make. This is a Joe fan. This here is another one saying that it is possible. There are things, says things that doesn't make them true, which is the exact same thing with your video, Joe. Just because you're saying things doesn't mean that they're true. You're having two versions of it, aka your teammate's point of view, would make the case way stronger. But the reason you're not going to be doing that is mainly because showing your teammates' point of view will show that there is footsteps and your teammate can hear the footsteps. That's why you're not going to be doing it. You never will. This year was also just a little extra thing. Do you know there's a game called Serpent Trade? Do you know? Do you not know they threw a nade at 34? The nade coming in there. That's the nade Joe talks about. That's the explosion from the nade Joe talks about. 334. Let's see here. 334. 457.
Hasn't been picked up yet. Both bounties are there.
Okay. So 334. I will speed it up to show that Joe is not doing too much pause and such while muting it. There we go. You can just see here it's still flowing through, slowly flowing. This is continuous gameplay. No pauses other than, let's wait a little for it. 334 was the moment. So we are almost, here we are, almost an entire minute in, but it's sped up. Sure. Let me slow it down so I can pause more accurately. There Joe's pause sign appears. He's about to talk. 423, so that's 49 seconds after. An entire gameplay of 49 seconds. And Joe are trying to like make the grenade, the dynamite be the end all, go all, the evidence for everything in this moment. So trying to find ways to explain away why I am wrong and observe the facts. The facts that through an entirety of 49 minutes are that he could be crouching. And the only thing that makes it so you cannot hear him is the crouch and the what's it called? The elevation to where he is compared to you are. You are having a lot of structures obscuring your line of audio. Thus, you cannot hear every single thing as clearly as if there were a direct line of sight. As I said, crouching is roughly 20 meters distance. Sometimes it's 19, sometimes it's 21, like roughly 20 meters. There are more than 20 meters down to the bounty over at the staircase. There's more than 20 meters down to the door over here. You could literally have been crouching down that path and over. You could also be crouching into the middle and over. And your teammate only would only see him as he's running for that clear path. What I do believe happened was, if I get the actual view from it, there. I think your teammate was sitting up here watching down and only saw this brief moment here. That's why he was sprinting over. That's also why he was able to serpent the bounty from over here and then run up. That's what I think happens, because that falls in line with the audio that I'm hearing. But you're obviously being like, nah, ain't really my place to go about. But this guy here tries to argue with Joe, and Joe does what Joe does best. Like, cannot handle reality, and then people like go about it and tries even more. This year, however, I have not seen any evidence of an audio hack. Neither have I seen the lack of it. So I don't know whether or not there is an audio hack, but Joe never proved there is. He just says, there must be, basically. So yeah, that is this video here. The reason I was waiting is because it falls in line with Joe's thinking of this video here. Someone new came and said, Where's the chain message? Joe made as a response. Give me 2 seconds. This one here from 10 days ago. I've seen a lot of cheaters, and you can't say definitively that he was. I mean, you move the chains. Had you not moved the chains, then you would have an argument. So what? Moving the chains doesn't determine direction of travel. I jumped forward so they could not tell if I was going towards them or away from them. Let's watch what actually happened. So he moves the chains, he walks on wood, and he starts sprinting as he's just about to go around the corner. No, sorry, jumps as he's just about to go around the corner. Moving the chain, starts sprinting on wood, and jumps around the corner. This here is limiting Joe insanely much. However, Joe makes it out to be that he jumped through the chains so he cannot hear the direction. Moving the chains doesn't determine direction of travel. I jumped forward so they could not tell if I was going towards them. Again, walking in on wood, moving the chains, running out, moving the chains even more, and jumping.
That's a cheater.
Moving the chains means you are super close to him. He just needs to be observant for what's going to come around the corner as he moves forward to you. Nothing else. You running and jumping means you're not prepared for him, not the other way around. It doesn't mean that he's a cheater. It just means you don't know how to play the game. Yeah, but I've seen people jump shoot. That's not what's going on here. You're not prepared for him. I can even show it like this. Let me see here. I will get your crosshair. This one is approximately the middle of it. My mouse here, I'm moving it around so it doesn't disappear. Moving it forward. You are most definitely not prepared for the guy. Like, your crosshair is nowhere near him. Jump shooting has nothing to do with what was going on right here. Like, at any given moment was your crosshair, and you can see here there's also the visual bug of the compound disappearing, basically. That also happens on your recordings. But as you can see, at no given moment is your crosshair anywhere near him. It's underneath, roughly here. The reason I went back is because Joe actually dies right there. So, like, Joe makes up a lot of delusional things and changes reality away from what it actually is in order to make his arguments. That is also why in this video here, he goes on to respond with it wasn't that one. I need to find it again. I was wrong. It was this one here. So Moiser, do you have your happen to have your teammate's point of view? And Joe's response was, why all the important information was there. When I moved towards the stairs was when my partner said he went upstairs. Like, that is also why Joe intentionally are only using his versions, because those are the versions where he actually are manipulating the audio. So I hope this gives a better perspective into why and how Joe are doing these things here, because it's easier to cry cheater all the time than it is to say I'm the reason for it.